Welcome to A Moment of Zen. Time to sit back and relax as model, actress, mentor, and supermom Zen Sams takes you on a sexy and wild ride, covering the latest in film, fashion, pop culture, politics, and entertainment from the millennial mom's perspective. Here's your host, Zen Sams.
Hello, my beautiful friends and loyal listeners. It's always a pleasure to spend my time with you on the airwaves. Thank you for listening and interacting with me on social media. That truly does make it worthwhile. Please make sure to follow me at Zen Sams. That's Zen with an X, not a Z. Also remember that we're now on TV. Tune in at watch.kpmedia.tv and catch a moment of Zen on the Impact Live channel Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern. All episodes are now available on demand. Today, we have such a great show lined up for you in our influencer segment brought to us by Bice Cucina. We are featuring Jessie Pires. He's chef and owner of Jessie's Fit Meals. He's a personal trainer, a nutritionist, a bodybuilding classic physique champ, and a model. You could check him out on the gram at Jessie's Fit World. Today, we are chatting the latest in men's health and nutrition for 2022. In our innovation and tech segment, we're featuring returning contributor Paul Caldwell, Chairman and CEO of Caldwell Soames, joined by Joel Binn, President of Blockchain Data Corporation, who's at the forefront of blockchain, ITO, or in Latin terms, Internet of Things, and digital currency innovation. We also have Emmy-nominated celebrity makeup artist Vincenza Carovillano. Today, we are discussing 2022 makeup trends and her favorite products out there. Another treat, our beauty contributor, Sari, is in the house. She is a celebrity injector and co-founder of Velour Medical. We're going to be chatting Botox, fillers, how they are all affected by the COVID-19 vaccine and even the boosters, and everything you need to know to keep yourself safe while still looking fabulous. I'm also going to take you on a fun trip downtown to Bice, Soho. We're going to be featuring and talking to Peter Guimatis, the owner, who is a really good friend of mine. He's going to walk me through some of his featured cocktails and the new happy hour that's starting this very week at Bice Cucina in Soho. He's going to walk me through all the incredible things on his menu. Today also marks my daughter Alexa's 6th birthday. A big shout out to you, my beautiful Lexi. You are my everything. The reason I wake up with a smile every day. You feed my soul in ways that only a daughter can. And I thank you for choosing me to be your mom. Happy birthday, kiddo. Mama loves you so very much. And on another interesting note, I wanted to share this because I found it quite telling and interesting. A YouGov poll said 60% of Americans see President Joe Biden as a weak leader. Yep, that's right. The majority of Americans, in fact, 60% see President Joe Biden as a weak leader, including 41% who say Biden is actually very weak, according to the latest Economist YouGov poll. Now, just 11% of Americans see him as a very strong leader. That is kind of sad. Trust in Biden also appears shaky in the poll, as 44% say he is not honest and trustworthy. Interestingly enough, on the flip side here, former President Donald Trump still remains the leading Republican candidate for 2024 by a wide margin, topping his leading challenger, Florida GOP Governor Ron DeSantis, by 43 percentage points in the latest Ipsos poll released last week. 50%, actually 54% of Republicans chose Trump when asked who they would support in the 2024 presidential GOP primary, and only 11% supported DeSantis. The rest are not even worth mentioning. Also worth noting, this past Thursday was the one-year anniversary of the January 6th Capitol riots that took place back in 2021, where unbridled violence across the nation, a disputed election, obvious distrust of the mainstream media, and a definite sense that hypocrisy was everywhere among elected officials at the time, all contributed to setting in motion the events of that day, January 6, 2021, which most of us will never forget. In the aftermath of this day, when laws were clearly broken and behavior was at best uncivil and at worst violent, in my opinion, the media and Democratic politicians have pushed out this narrative of insurrection, which actually still remains disputed. The truth of the matter is that January 6th actually started out as a peaceful protest that became chaotic, unruly, and violent. But I don't believe that all those protesters seeked to overthrow the government. And mind you, the majority of them didn't bring firearms into the Capitol. Certainly, people who committed crimes that day should be held accountable for their actions, but these protesters are entitled to due process. I believe that the mistreatment of the January 6th detainees is outrageous and cruel. Some unusual punishments against some protesters following their arrests have been reported, and claims that they are being treated worse than terrorists are circling. If all of this is true, then we actually do have silent communism brewing on Capitol Hill, and that is very, very troublesome. Some food for thought, my dear friends, some food for thought. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. I'm your host, Zen Sams. We will be right back with our influencer segment featuring Jessie Pires. Stay tuned.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by CCP Digital, bringing you a view from inside blockchain, cryptocurrency, and NFTs. Introducing the latest Blockchain Heroes series, Retro Rebellion NFT collectible card packs from the Nifty Company. Available January 2022. Find out more online at ccpdigital.com.
Welcome back, beautiful people. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Now, up in our influencer segment, we are featuring Jessie Pires. He's chef and owner of Jessie's Fit Meals. He's a personal trainer and coach, a nutritionist, bodybuilding classic physique champ, and a model. You can check out his website at personaltrainingbrothers.com, or you can also find him on the gram at Jessie's Fit World. Today, an increasing number of people are opting for a more healthy and proactive life. The benefits of living healthy and fit are well known to all. It makes you strong physically and mentally. Lee Mills's yoga-themed body balance workouts were up 600% after lockdown. A year of mental and economic stress in 2021 has made coping and mindfulness even more of a persistent message in this year, 2022. And there's no arguing that exercise can help most people lose weight as well as look more toned and trim. Of course, there's a catch. You need to get and keep moving if you want to cash in on the benefits. This doesn't necessarily mean following a strict time-consuming regimen at the gym, although that can certainly reap benefits. The truth is you can get rewards from many different types and levels of exercise. Any little increment of physical activity is going to get a great boost, and it's going to give you that extra kickoff to a weight loss program and feeling better. Now, we are going to be chopping it all down with my good friend Jessie, who's coming on right now. Welcome to the show, my dear friend. What a superstar you are.
Thank you for having me. What's all happy holidays to everybody. And thank you for having me.
All the best for the new year. Okay, this is it. Now, I have a couple of questions. You are the epitome of health in many respects. You look great. You have a company built around nutrition and fitness. Everything you do reflects a certain level of either health, nutrition, or bodybuilding. What's the best advice you could give men right now that are looking at you? And for those of you that are listening and not watching yet, when you do see Jessie, he is a very, very fit and built individual. How do pro hormones boost testosterone?
Pro hormones boost testosterone if needed in a positive way. Usually when you become an older person, your testosterone level lowers. So if you go see a doctor and your testosterone is low, if they prescribed you a little bit of tests, that's going to help you out. That's definitely going to help you out, but it's got to be done through a doctor, and you still got to eat really good food. You got to have a well-balanced meal, and you got to eat at least 5-6 times a day, and only if that's necessary. But if you work out on a regular basis, and if you eat really well, chances are you don't even need that stuff,
Got it.
because that's going to build up your own testosterone, but you got to
Understood.
stick to it. You got to stick to it.
You got to stick to it. Now, in your
Yes.
opinion, what is the best mass building biceps exercise?
The best for biceps, you should definitely do preacher curls. Preacher curls are going to get your biceps big. But what's going to really get your biceps big is the food. Working out, you should go light, high reps, and your biceps are going to grow if you really stimulate the muscle. It's all about stimulating the muscle and training smart.
Got it.
Training hard, but smart. Going heavy does not get you big.
Exactly.
It's gonna get you. You're gonna get you to hurt yourself.
It's gonna
You
get
train light, high reps, concentrate on the muscle, squeezing the muscle, but working out by itself is not gonna work. You need to have nutrition with it.
Got
If
it.
you
So
eat
what foods are inexpensive and high in protein that you can recommend?
egg whites. Egg whites is so cheap. Egg whites, sweet potatoes, baked potatoes. You got oatmeal. You got to have a carb and a protein, but a small meal. Like if a guy wants to put on muscle, 5 ounces of a carb and 5 to 6 ounces of a protein, and a vegetable like a broccoli, asparagus, spinach, a well-balanced meal more frequently during the day. That's what's going to get your body to get muscular, and it's going to get you tight.
Exactly. And experts like yourself are saying to aim for 5 to 8 meals a day. This includes breakfast, lunch, and dinner with multiple
Absolutely.
protein-rich snacks eaten in between. What are some vegetarian protein sources that you could recommend?
Tofu. Tofu is excellent. Beans, red beans, unbelievable. That's
Yeah,
very
yes, tofu, tempeh, chickpeas, right? Greek yogurt.
Chickpeas are great. Chickpeas are great. I'm not too crazy about yogurt. Yogurt makes you soft. It puts a lean in your skin. And if a guy wants to have abs, if he really wants to be in awesome shape, yogurt is healthy for you. But to be in shape, it's going to put a sheen over your body.
There you go. Now, which types of whey proteins can you recommend?
To be honest with you, I think whey protein is garbage. I think nothing like that. Nothing like real food.
There you go.
Nothing like real food. I'm telling you that I've been in shape all my life, and I've been eating this way all my life. And I truly believe the fountain of youth is the way you eat. If you eat right and you train smart, you're always going to look awesome and feel even greater.
Yes, our body is our temple. And you know what? Now we are out of time. And this brings us into a very nice buttoned up message that you have just sent all of your followers, our listeners, and our viewers, that our body is our temple. We are what we eat. And basically, if we have the ability to control what goes into our body, we will then have the ability to control what we look like. So that's an awesome message, my friend.
Absolutely. And when your mind is right, your body's right, everything is all right.
There you go. Jessie, thank you so much for coming on. So insightful talking to you, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to send everybody to your website. Definitely check him out. Jessie's Fit World. He is a mega influencer of sorts in his market, and he is a very good friend of mine. I know his family. You guys definitely have to check them out. Personaltrainingbrothers.com. Thank you for coming on, my friend. You're listening to a moment of Zen right here on 710 WR, the voice of New York. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Revere Securities. Revere is committed to building a relationship of trust in which they work closely with you to help you define your objectives, explore alternatives, and choose the financial and investment strategies that are most appropriate for you. Go to reveresecurities.com.
Welcome back, beautiful people. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Now, up in just a few minutes, we have Emmy-nominated celebrity makeup artist Vincenza Carovillano. Today, we are discussing 2022 makeup trends. All you have to do is swipe through TikTok or Instagram for a few minutes before you'll see that lips are trending. Thanks to vaccinations and a break from masks, folks are picking up lipstick again, but There's a more permanent lip trend that's gaining speed, and it ain't fillers. This trend is set to blow up this year. It's called lip blushing. According to Yelp's 2022 Beauty Trend Forecast Report, lip blushing services are predicted to increase a whooping 130% this year. But let's take a step back for a minute and explain what lip blushing is. It's a beauty service where a professional tattoo artist shadows color onto your lips to either correct or enhance the shape and size of your lips. It can give the illusion of fullness without lip filler and lasts up to 3 years, of course, depending on care and maintenance. The color is often close to your natural lips with an added pop of defining color and a shade to create the full effect. It's very much like eyebrow microblading. Essentially, it's a form of semi-permanent makeup. Now, lip blushing is not a brand new service. So why does Yelp expect it to continue to grow at such a rapid speed? Well, since everyone is wearing masks and adopting a more natural look since the pandemic, they're also looking for an alternative to heavy makeup or wearing lipstick at all, which can smear while wearing masks. As the world starts to open up and more people come out, you can pretty much do whatever you want when it comes to your makeup. And for this new year, think bright colors, glossy sheens, geometric shapes. Now, makeup trends in 2022 are shaping up to be bold and super fun, but with so many options, it's hard to know where to start. Here to help me narrow it all down is Vincenza Carovillano. Hello, Miss NYC.
Hi, gorgeous.
Let me tell people that you are an NYC wedding celebrity makeup artist, and your impressive resume includes working with entertainers, socialite, and a lot of TV personalities. Tell me what we're looking at with this lip blushing scenario. Safe, not safe? Do you recommend it? What are your thoughts?
You know, it's up to the person for sure. Like you said, it's definitely not something new, but it is great for the woman who doesn't want to put on lips. Everyone's gotten a little, not to put makeup on. So it's a great permanent way to have to wear a mask or not wear, and wake up and have your lips on. On top of the fact, what I would recommend the most about it is make sure you know who you're going to. When it comes to your face, people, that's not where you want to go to someone that's not reputable. And it does give the plumping effect and the color effect. And when you wake up with color on your lip, it's an instant, I look fabulous. So I definitely recommend it, but go to someone that knows what they're doing and they're qualified to do this.
I agree. I agree. You have to obviously go to licensed professionals, not just a random up the block tattoo artist. But here's where my fear comes in, right? Like I get eyelash extensions. I fill them every 3 weeks. I don't have to wear mascara. It's kind of like a permanent, kind of semi-permanent situation because although it doesn't inhibit my actual eyelashes, they grow out with the extension and you're never really touching your eyelashes other than tacking on with pharmaceutical grade glue, so to speak. But this kind of makes me nervous because you're literally tattooing your skin. I know that I have a tattoo on my tailbone, and believe me, that hurt. I can't imagine doing this lip blushing. It feels very permanent. I mean,
and you're right, because the pigment may stay or look different on everyone. So like if I went in and got a color and you went in and got the same exact formula, it will look different on everyone. So you have to find your own. I say practice first with like the lip lines that are more permanent, shades on the lip that you can wear, or a long wearing lip liner. So play with your shades, because if you go in with a shade that you love all the time, let's say I love wearing red, like that's not the color I want to wake up to every day.
Yeah, you got to plan ahead. All right, so now let's chat beauty trends. We have about 2.5 minutes left in the segment, and I know that there's a lot trending out there for this new year. We've all kind of come back from either too much sun or too much food or too much excess. So what is your number one recommendation for clean beauty? What lines out there exist for clean beauty?
Well, I absolutely love Brave On Beauty. They are cruelty-free, paraben-free, made in the USA. And the pigments are true. Like, I love supporting cosmetic lines that are true to makeup artists, that makeup artists make them. Who better than a makeup artist who's putting their love and passion into making a product? Isom, Pat McGrath, Anastasia Beverly Hills, like Mario, who is, Kim Kardashian's makeup artist. I love them because no one knows better what the passion and the love is to put in to color and making it, what it's supposed to feel like, what it's supposed to look like.
Right. Okay. So makeup artists are passionate artists, but let's walk us through some of the more trending trends, so to speak.
Yes.
Graphic eyeliners. Who do you recommend for graphic eyeliners?
Mario Dadavanovich, forgive me, Kim K's makeup artist. He's got the best Greek last name. Okay. You would know how to say it.
What about Power Pinks? Power Pinks. We have
Power Pinks. I have to say, I do love. I'm wearing a Power Red from Brave-On Beauty, but Pat McGrath. Dior. Yes, any of those lines are going to make gorgeous, rich, beautiful shapes.
Face jewels are in this season. What do you recommend?
Face Lace. It's an entire company, and all they do is literally dress up the face, and you can go anywhere.
That was Vincenza Carovillano. Thank you for coming on the show, my beautiful friend.
Thank you, Zen. It is an honor and a dream come true. Thank you.
Definitely check her out on the gram. She's at Makeup Vincenza, and check out Brave-On Beauty at Brave-On Beauty. Check them out on the internet, braveonbeauty.com. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Aikido Pharma, an early-stage pharmaceutical company developing innovative drugs for improving anti-cancer and antiviral therapies. Traded on the NASDAQ under ticker AIKI. They have first-in-class partnerships with leading medical universities like the University of Maryland and the University of Texas. To learn more, go to www.aikidopharma.com.
Welcome back, beautiful people. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Now, up in just a few minutes, we have celebrity injector Sari Katz. She's co-founder of Medical, and we're going to be chatting about Botox, fillers, and how they're affected by the COVID-19 vaccine and booster, and all you need to know to keep yourself safe while still looking beautiful. Now, there has been an astronomical surge in the number of people seeking cosmetic treatments like derma fillers and Botox as of lately, in part due to a combination of Zoom face, the stress of lockdown, and the inability to get our usual beauty treatments regularly. And cosmetic doctors across the board have noticed the rise in demand. Now, before we go further, remember that Botox and fillers, derma fillers specifically, are not the same things. Botox is an injectable muscle relaxer, while derma fillers are synthetic materials meant to add volume and structure to your face. The global derma fillers market size is expected to reach approximately $6 billion by the year 2028. And while you all may be tempted to jump at the opportunity to book in your next appointment, experts are urging us to plan a little more carefully around when we receive injectable treatments, specifically referring to our COVID-19 and the vaccinations at hand and the protocols involved. As with any cosmetic treatment, Botox and fillers can have side effects, including swelling and inflammation of the treated area. One preliminary study has suggested that there might be an increased risk of an inflammatory reaction to hyaluronic acid derma fillers following exposure to the COVID-19 spike protein. The general guideline is that patients should wait 2 weeks between Botox treatments and COVID vaccination and 3 weeks for fillers, simply because practitioners just don't have enough knowledge on the potential risks and reactions someone could have from the jab. Here to break it all down is Sari Katz. She's co-founder of Velour Medical, an NYC-based cosmetic concierge service. Sari is a celebrity injector and PA. Her specialty is in dermatology and plastic surgery. She has advanced training with injectables and is a certified trainer for the Allergan Medical Institute. She combines modern-day techniques with the latest products to treat New York celebrities and non-celebs alike. Welcome to the show, Stunner.
Thank you so much, Zen. Thanks for having me today.
You got it. You got it. Talk to me about the COVID-19 protocols regarding fillers. Is it really necessary to wait 2 weeks? What side effects are you seeing? And what is the number one request people have with regard to the COVID-19 and injections?
So that's actually a really good question. Because COVID-19 and the immunizations and boosters are all new to us, we're going based on recommendations. We don't have concrete studies yet. The one study that we had from the Moderna immunization complications or side effects showed that 3 in 30,000 of the Moderna participants experienced swelling of their filler after receiving the Moderna shot. Now, that's a really low number. However, we just don't know how that's going to change over time or extrapolate. So what we've been telling our patients, ideally, is based on old recommendations having to do with the flu vaccine and also dental procedures, right? These are immunization or immunity boosting procedures. So basically, when our immune system is heightened from this immunization or from dental work, our body's looking for foreign products. So fillers, Botox, they're foreign products. We don't want our body attacking the foreign products. So if we give a substantial amount of time between the immunization and when we receive the procedure, it's a safer bet.
That's great. It's always best to be safe. Now, let's move on to the next question because I only have you for a limited amount of time. What is the number one request that patients are asking for these days? Is it lip enhancement? Is it fillers all around? Is it Botox? Is there a rise in one area versus another? What are you seeing?
Yeah, I mean, the number one procedure requested as far as overall injectables is usually neurotoxin, or Botox is a brand of neurotoxin. But as far as the dermal filler realm, we see lip enhancement being one of the most common procedures requested. And that is because, honestly, with the younger generations and millennials getting into this world, we're seeing people that actually want less for aesthetic reasons as far as wrinkle reduction and more for just enhancements like lip augmentation.
Of course, lip augmentation. Now, let's talk about that. You are the in-house concierge for a very famous hotel, and you go room to room for the socialites of the world and celebrities, and you do lip enhancements, as that's your specialty, but you also do all kinds of other procedures. What hotel have you landed at in addition to everything else you have going on?
Yeah, so the HY36, which is the Crown Plaza in Hudson Yards, actually asked me to come on and be a room service Botox injector. So yeah, I can be called at any time to be going over to the hotel if it warrants in my schedule, and I can perform in-room treatments like Botox, filler, chemical peels.
Let's talk about that treatment because we have about a minute and a half left. So what new products are we looking at this new year? And also, if you can give me the best non-invasive procedures after you highlight your top 3 products.
Yeah, so Botox and fillers continue to be probably the top most requested procedures, but other non-invasive procedures include microneedling with or without your blood, like a blood facial, aqua gold treatments, which are really great and trending right now. And then chemical peels have been, substantial in this industry forever. And then there's a lot of non-invasive procedures that can be done in the office as well, like lasers, radio frequency devices, ultrasound devices,
yes,
a lot of different options.
Those are definitely on the rise. Okay, if you, we have about 45 seconds left, and I want to make sure that people can find you. So the best way to find Sari Katz is if you search Velour Medical. You could go on the gram. They're at Velour Medical, or Sari is at Skin by Sari. You could check them out at velourmd.com. Sari, thank you much for joining. It was such a pleasure talking to you.
Absolutely. Anytime, Xen. It's always a pleasure.
All right. Oh, really quickly, double chin. What's the number one procedure you're looking at right now?
Kybella. It's an injectable that dissolves fat.
What about definition in the cheek area?
Fillers like Voluma, Radius, things that enhance cheekbone definition.
There you go. You said it. That's Sari Katz at Velour Medical. You're listening to A Moment of Xen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Xen is brought to you by Revere Securities. Revere is committed to building a relationship of trust in which they work closely with you to help you define your objectives, explore alternatives, and choose the financial and investment strategies that are most appropriate for you. Go to reveresecurities.com.
Welcome back, beautiful people. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Now, coming up in our innovation and tech segment, brought to you by Caldwell Soames, we have returning contributor Paul Caldwell, chairman and CEO of Caldwell Soames. He's joined by his good friend, Joel Binn, who's at the forefront of blockchain, IoT, or in Latin terms, Internet of Things, and digital currency innovation. He's one of the founders and presidents of Blockchain Data Corporation, and you guys could check them out preliminary at bdc.guru. Now, Joel is leading a new generation of digital currency through a focus on a fiat-style financing ecosystem. Today, we're chatting the end of cash, the rise of crypto, and the future of payments. Now, payments evolve, consumers adjust, and rather quickly. We're definitely in a growth window, and that's going to open up new opportunities over the next 5 years. Before of any of our modern day systems, there was the gold standard, where all money produced was backed by an equivalent amount of gold in our Federal Reserves. Then you got cash. Cash has long been on the decline, with one UK's specific study citing that cash transactions have decreased nearly 35% at the start of the pandemic. The credit card, now easily accepted as part of everyday life, was the first modern leap of faith in payments, debuting in the 1950s. At its onset, the idea of paying for something instantly with the promise that you pay back a third-party institution within the month rather than right away probably seemed even more foreign than cryptocurrency does now. And today, money is flowing into crypto. Some will argue that the initial purpose of a decentralized blockchain was to level the playing field between banks, governments, and the general public after the housing crisis and Occupy Wall Street. For those that use it regularly, it's the ultimate unbiased, trust-based system. Each transaction is built upon a ledger that is checked and double-checked by thousands globally to verify the authenticity of a transaction. Here to break it all down for us are Paul Caldwell and Joel Binn. Welcome to the show, superstars.
Welcome, Zen.
Morning, Zen.
Welcome back, Paul. Let's start with you. Paul, this is such an important time in the blockchain as enterprises across markets and industries continue to increase their investment in the technology globally, and organizations are forecasted to spend nearly $6.6 billion on blockchain solutions this year, which is an increase of more than 50% compared to, say, 2020. Where do you see the future of payments heading within the blockchain context? Will you be able to buy, say, groceries or even Broadway tickets with crypto? Fill us in.
Zen, I think so. I mean, I believe that. I believe that the idea of making payments that way using cryptocurrencies has struggled to this point to really find its way into the mainstream. It's still not as easy to pay, and in many cases impossible to go buy your groceries with cryptocurrency. So there have been cryptocurrency cards, for example, that come out with arrangements between the likes of Visa or MasterCard or whatever and a cryptocurrency company. The challenges are in the middle area where the merchant services processes sit. Companies like Fiserv and big companies that provide the POS devices, the thing that you put your card in or you swipe it at the cash register. That's where the challenge has been and continues to be. Because if someone returns a pair of shoes that they bought with a crypto card, and that underlying crypto at the time of the purchase was at, let's just say 56,000, if it's the case of Bitcoin, and now someone returns those shoes 3 days later, 5 days later, whatever it is, and now that crypto has moved significantly off of that price point when it was acquired, the person still has to be able to return their shoes. The merchant still has to be able to give the customer a refund. That happens in the merchant services layer, who provided the basically the stability for that credit-based transaction to take place, has to somehow at sometimes eat that difference and eat that spread. That's a negative spread. That's not a good thing. So it's not all sorted out. There are some companies, one of the companies in our portfolio, OGPay, and others in the payment space that are trying to bridge that by melding interoperability layers through unique types of APIs that allow that to actually end up being a cash-based transaction, whilst using cryptocurrencies to settle a sale of crypto instantly onto a card so that it is cash all the way through, and it doesn't disrupt the merchant services layer. So I think as that gets perfected, it becomes more and more acceptable.
Beautiful. And that's why I love when you profile companies like you mentioned OGPay, because that is a great, terrific trio of a platform, so to speak, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. But I wanted to hear from our friend who's just so eagerly waiting to take the stand over there. Joel, your turn. To succeed in business, one must know the latest technologies and, of course, use them wisely. And this is right up your alley. Adopting new technologies allows companies to offer what no one is offering and providing value to customers, simultaneously boosting one's revenue streams. Now, companies that embrace new tech are seen as innovators and risk takers by the world, so to speak, and the customers. And this opens doors to new markets and brings in more investment. Where do you foresee blockchain really being put to its best use? And which industries do you feel are embracing the technology easiest and going about implementing it the best way?
Well, the whole concept of blockchain is being designed around a mechanism that started with basically Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the idea that has spawned everything. And Bitcoin was very simple. It simulated cash and allowed for cheap electronic movement on a direct level. The technology itself is not as complicated as the concept. I find more people struggling with the idea, do I want to use a cryptocurrency, rather than how do I use a cryptocurrency? I think that the technology is way ahead of the actual use today. So getting people to understand what a Bitcoin is, what socially based cryptocurrencies are, and how to use them effectively is a major leap in thinking. A lot of people are embracing it and it's growing exponentially, but it's still a very small part of the world. And as Paul pointed out, there's a lot of hurdles to overcome. And we can reach into the past to take advantage of some solutions, like hedging foreign exchange transactions is common in the securities industry. We can build models that are similar to that. So the solutions are really more along the lines of how do we actually build on top of old existing ideas, getting businesses to accept it, and then build the technology to accommodate what they want. And that to me is the exciting part. We're putting together blockchain data solutions that can be used for the insurance industry, for the payments industry. You'll see that blockchain is heavily adopted by major consulting companies and all the global 500, as well as the financial services industry. In the global 500, they're using it for operational improvement, better tracking of material, or a food trust, how we can safely show the evolution of when you grow something to when it gets delivered to the store, and demonstrate the safety and also remediation when there's problems. Diamonds, shipping, virtually every major corporation is using blockchain as a means of operational efficiency. And then you have the innovators, new ways of doing insurance in a group-based method, a peer-to-peer method, new ways of handling cash, cryptocurrency, new ways of building a variety of other type of methods like asset backs, stable coins, replacing securities that are stock certificates with electronic tokens so that they're much more portable and directly transferable. The world's
Wow.
changing.
Seems like the possibilities are definitely endless here. And with the possibilities in an industry like this, Paul, this is a very fitting question. Although it's a relatively new technology, it can definitely revolutionize our hiring and payment system. And blockchain technology can be used to create a payment ledger. To Joel's point, system for tracking digital use and payments and compiling data and sales. Walk me through some of the more proprietary features a platform like OGPay for say has versus the more traditional models that are out there, and why a model like OGPay is fitting in this digital process. where they're able to keep in mind blockchain, cryptocurrency, and servicing, and not just the merchant, but the user as well. This is very technologically advanced stuff. Walk me through this.
It is. And to Joel's point, the technology is definitely ahead of the concept, and the usage of the technology. OGPay is an example. It's an example of fintech meets decentralized transaction solution, and it's the ability to have cash in a mobile wallet that enjoys all the benefits of let's say the banking industry with FDIC insurance on an account, where you can have an account open. It's a wallet account. It's, let's say, just a fiat cash account, but to have the interoperability to be able to use that cash account to purchase cryptocurrencies, or to move cryptocurrencies from one place, one exchange, let's say, onto OGPay, into a secure wallet, into a vault, into an individual wallet, and then be able to transact with that cryptocurrency by buying and selling things using credit or debit cards that are OGPay debit cards. There's a virtual debit card, there's a physical debit card at OGPay, and these transactions between the fiat and the crypto can be settled onto the card instantly, because of the way OGPay has developed its liquidity provisioning platform to provision liquidity on the crypto side, marrying that to liquidity on the fiat side, so that they interoperate. They're almost in the back end. They are separate things that come together, but to the individual OGPay user, it's one transaction. It's, hey, I want to go to dinner. I have some profit in Ethereum. I can take my Ethereum. I can instantly settle some of my Ethereum profit onto my Visa card and go buy my family dinner instantly this evening, or go to a drive-through. My family loves Chick-fil-A, for example, to give Chick-fil-A a plug here, I guess. But at the end of the day, it's instantaneous. And that's really, we believe, what will drive that education, since the technology is ahead of the concept and the consumer's thinking and the adoption rates anyway. To increase the adoption rates, we have to bring all of this in a seamless way, an easy way for a consumer to adopt this, just by adopting an app, by adopting a platform, becoming a subscriber. Then they can use it across that platform. You know, it's a very noisy world out there. It's a competitive environment. And OGPay knows that. They know that. Why should someone put the OGPay app on their phone when they have PayPal and Venmo and their banking apps and goodness knows what else? It's a very noisy screen, right? So they have to build it to keep it simple and make that transaction for the consumer easy.
Yes, absolutely. And OGPay does just that. And we are now exactly at 45 seconds and out of time. And this is why we're going to have you on yet again, because Paul, you are just that guy. You love to just dive in, and our viewers and our listeners love to hear you because you come from such a unique perspective. Thank you for bringing on Joel. Mr. Binn, it was such a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, Ed.
Paul, thank you again. Guys, please, 2022 is going to be the year for all. Make sure you're looking at technology. Make sure you're doing your research. Cryptocurrency, blockchain is definitely something you want to think about, not only for investment, but please get involved. That was Paul Caldwell from Caldwell Soames and Joel Binn. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WR, the voice of New York. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Caldwell Soames Incorporated, investing globally in transformative businesses like Original Digital Corporation, or ODC. ODC develops advanced consumer and commercial fintech solutions such as OGPay, which will transform the way you manage your money. From sending and receiving money globally for free, paying for goods and services in person and online, pay bills, buy and sell digital currencies, all while earning interest. OGPay is easy to set up, FDIC insured, and your information is secured. Check out ogpay.com.
Hi guys, this is Zen Sams. You're listening to 710 WOI, the voice of New York. We're here with Peter Grimanis, the owner of Bice Cucina. Recently opened his second location right here in Soho, and today he's walking us through some of the more famous cocktails, specifically the one featured drink that he is going to be debuting his new happy hour with. And right here at the Bice Cucina in Soho, we have a happy hour unlike any happy hour you've ever seen. 50% off of absolutely everything.
Crazy.
50%
Is it on the
off.
Veuve Clicquot?
50% off.
Crazy. Is it on the Don Perignon?
Crazy. 50% off.
It's crazy madness.
All right. So what are you going to make for us today?
All right, so I'm making one of my favorite ingredients. It's called the Slow Buzz. And the reason I call it the Slow Buzz is because it's so smooth that you don't feel like there's any alcohol in there. But then after you get up, poof, it hits you. So we're going to have some strawberries. We're going to do some fresh basil. All right.
Sounds very exciting. And now, what's the base of this drink? So far we have
Tequila.
strawberries, basil, and tequila. So this is a tequila-based
Tequila.
drink. And remember, guys, this is a drink that is going to be 50% off.
Crazy.
Crazy.
All right, so we muddled the basil and the strawberries together.
And Peter uses the good tequila.
For this show, I'm not gonna, because we're gonna probably throw it away.
No, we're not.
Puree.
No, we're not. We will never throw. That would be very sinful to throw
Since
food
this
and
drink
beverage
is on the
away.
house, we do a little tequila. All right.
Yeah, there you go.
We have some triple sec.
Triple sec.
I like
Tequila,
triple sec. It reminds me of
strawberries.
triple sex.
Peter Guimares, please behave yourself. This is a radio show.
It's not a family show, is it?
WR, the voice of New York. You've now heard it all in a moment of Zen. There you go. There you have it. Peter Guimares, owner of Bice Cucina. Noted. Okay.
And after it's properly shaped by a professional mixologist, we put it in a rocks glass.
Okay.
All right. And
Now
then
I'm going to get to taste this.
Go ahead, my love. Try.
Cheers to 2022.
I say we skip ahead to 2024 just to be safe.
I couldn't agree more. Oh, this is fantastic.
Excellent, right?
Excellent. Absolutely excellent. You taste the basil, you taste the strawberries, tequila kicks in very nicely, handmade perfectly
Simple drink.
by a mixologist like yourself.
Simple drink. You know, the more ingredients you put in a cocktail and you drink too much of it, the chances are you're going to have a nasty
Bad hangover.
So you put some natural ingredients in there, just some basic liqueur, and you're ready to go.
Yep, there you have it. And of course, you know, the most important thing is tequila is one of those drinks that actually has low sugar. Check that out, because you can do all your research in the world, but if you happen to be someone per se who's diabetic, tequila should be your choice. Fun fact right there on A Moment of Zen.
Moment of Zen is brought to you by Bice Cucina and their newest location in Soho. At Bice, you'll be dining in a relaxed and elegant atmosphere with friendly, attentive service that offers delicious dishes from Northern Italy and American cuisine. Bice caters to all dietary needs. A DJ entertains on Friday and Saturday evenings, and live upbeat jazz for Sunday brunch. Located at 15 Watt Street. Online at bicecucinasoho.com.
Well, we're at the end of our date, my dear friends. Remember to join me right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, every Saturday night from 9 to 10 p.m. Or go to 710WOR.iHeart.com/A Moment of Zen. Remember that we're now on TV. Download the KP Media TV app on Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV, even Droid TV. We're everywhere. Tune in at watch.kpmedia.tv and catch A Moment of Zen live on the Impact Channel Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern. All episodes are now available on demand. Thank you for listening to A Moment of Zen. It's been an absolute pleasure being your host. Remember to tune back in next Saturday night at 9 p.m. And thanks again to all of our sponsors. Remember, happiness is the only thing that multiplies when